The last few years have seen so much change, haven't we? I mean, everything's changed, not only with the pandemic, but the way we get to see a doctor, our financial services, currency is now becoming all digitized instead of the real cash. Everything's changing all the time, isn't it? And that constant change is tiring, isn't it? It's just too much sometimes. But do you ever feel like this, Do you ever feel really heavy around your eyes, just heavy here, that when you're trying to read some text, it just feels painfully heavy? Or do you feel sometimes like the world is on your shoulders? There's just too much. And do you find yourself getting snappy and unable to keep focus? You start something and your mind's just gone. You've just kind of lost that processing power. And do you find mental processing tough? I mean, what used to be a walk in the park is now really tough. It's just tough to process. And tiredness. Do you ever find yourself falling asleep in front of the TV when you never used to? Or fall asleep if you go to the cinema with your family or kids or whatever, you end up missing most of the movie. And sometimes when all this starts to happen, we then start to end up with like little outstanding tasks, which become bigger tasks, the bills and dealing with HMRC and all that kind of stuff. And we end up then picking easy wins, don't we? Think, I'll just do that one. I don't really want to do this one because I don't really like it. I'm about to say, my friends, that when this happens, you're suffering from a thing which I found when I was really struggling back in 2015-16, and it's called overwhelm. It's just too much, and you have to deal with that and deal with it in a way so that you can take control of stuff, because when everything's overwhelming, you lose your motivation, don't you? Because what's the point? And I've got a little tool which I'm going to share with you, and it's a very similar tool which I've used on other experiments as well. And it's a tool about just writing a list down. And what you've got to do is write a list down of the stuff that you can do today. Be honest. Don't miss stuff out if it's too hard. Just write down a list. What can I do today? And then another list. What can I do tomorrow? Then all this other stuff that's around in your mind at the moment, because you feel overwhelmed and the world's on your shoulders, write them in two other boxes. One's next week and another one's sometime. And all you've got to focus on every day is today and tomorrow. That's it. Today and tomorrow. And by making changes today, we'll change the outcome of tomorrow. And tomorrow's the future, isn't it? And we all want a nice future, don't we? For us and our kids and our families and our loved ones. And that's what it's about. So you owe it to yourself and to those loved ones to make some changes today. This little tool I've just given you about putting stuff in 4 boxes, today, tomorrow, next week, sometime, will enable you to feel you're in control and take control of all the stuff that's overwhelming you. And talk and share this information with somebody else as well. Produce your list and share it with somebody else so they can understand what's on your shoulders.